History is filled with stories of powerful leaders and generals who changed the fate of nations. But some of the most profound revolutions weren't started by armies. They were sparked by ordinary people who refused to bow down. In 1919, Korea was suffocating under a decade-long Japanese colonial occupation. Free speech was banned, newspapers were shut down, and Korean culture was systematically being erased. Yet, out of this darkness, emerged a voice that an entire empire couldn't silence. She wasn't a politician, she wasn't a soldier. She was a 16-year-old high school student. Her name was Yu Gwan-sun. Often called Korea's Joan of Arc, her courage would ignite a nation, but cost her everything. To understand her courage, we have to look at where she came from. Yu Gwan-sun was born on December 16, 1902, in Cheonan. Gojong was emperor at the time. She grew up in a deeply religious Protestant family. Her father, Yu Jung-won, was a man who valued education, helping to establish a school in their village. From a young age, Gwan-sun was known for being exceptionally bright, deeply spiritual, and intensely patriotic. She would listen to her elders, discussing the loss of their country's sovereignty, absorbing a fierce love for her homeland. Let's not forget that Imperial Japan annexed Korea in 1910. In 1916, at just 13 years old, her intelligence earned her scholarship to Ewha Haktang in Seoul, Korea's first modern school for women. It would later become Ewha's Women's University and Ewha's Girls' High School. It was a hub for new ideas, faith, and, secretly, resistance. As Gwan-sun studied, the oppression outside the school walls grew heavier. Her teacher, Kim Ran-sa, encouraged her to join peaceful protests. Kim Ran-sa is remembered as a Korean independence activist who died under mysterious circumstances in April of 1919. In January of the same year, Korea had reached its boiling point. Emperor Gojong died suddenly. Many believed he was poisoned by the Japanese. The nation was devastated, angry, and ready to break its silence. On March 1st, 1919, the fuse was lit. 33 Korean cultural and religious leaders signed a Declaration of Independence. Simultaneously, thousands of citizens gathered in Pagoda Park in Seoul. On March 5th, Yu Gwan-sun and her classmates joined the protest. They marched through the streets, waving forbidden Korean flags, shouting, "Daehan Dong Lim Manse! Long live Korean independence!" The Japanese response to these protests was, as expected, swift and brutal. Soldiers fired into peaceful crowds. Mass arrests followed. Schools, including Ewha, were forcibly shut down by colonial authorities. Yu Gwan-sun went back home to her village. She became deeply involved in movements in her hometown of Cheonan. She walked from village to village, avoiding Japanese patrols, to organize a massive, coordinated protest in her hometown. On April 1st, over 3,000 people gathered at the Aunae Marketplace. Gwan-sun delivered a speech that ignited the crowd. But the Japanese military police were waiting. They opened fire on the unarmed marketplace. In the chaos, Gwan-sun's mother and father were shot and killed. Gwan-sun was beaten and arrested. She was only 16 years old. Yu Gwan-sun was first taken to Gongju Police Station and then transferred to Seodaemun Prison in Seoul, a place notorious for torture and horrific living conditions. She was sentenced to 3 years in prison. The Japanese authorities offered her a choice: apologize, show remorse, and she could walk free. Her response was unyielding. It is said that she told the guards, "Even if my fingernails are torn out, my nose and ears are ripped apart, and my legs and arms are crushed, this physical pain cannot compare to the pain of losing my country." Even behind bars, in a cramped underground cell with dozens of other women, Gwan-sun remained the leader. A fellow inmate of hers, Im Myong-hae, gave birth in prison. Yu Gwan-sun shared her insufficient meals with her and even squeezed Im Myong-hae's baby's wet diapers and dried them around her waist. On March 1st, 1920, the one-year anniversary of the movement, she organized a massive protest inside the prison walls. 3,000 inmates started screaming for independence, paralyzing the prison staff and sparking supportive protest in the streets outside. For this act of defiance, she was thrown into solitary confinement and subjected to unspeakable torture. In April, her sentence was reduced to 1.5 years following a national pardon after Prince Iun's marriage to Princess Masako of Nashimoto. After World War II, she took the name Lee Bang-ja. Iun was Emperor Sunjong's half-brother. On September 28, 1920, just a few days before her scheduled release, Yu Gwan-sun succumbed to her injuries. She died alone in her cell. She was only 17 years old. Her final words were, "My only regret is that I have only one life to dedicate to my country." The Japanese authorities initially refused to release her body, fearing her funeral would spark another revolution. The principals of Ewha Haktang, Lulu Frey, and Jeanette Walter pressured the Japanese authorities to release her body. She was quietly buried in the Itaewon cemetery. Later, her body disappeared when the Japanese authorities built a military base on that same cemetery. When Korea finally achieved independence in 1945, Yu Gwan-sun's sacrifice was realized. She was posthumously awarded the Order of Independence Merit in 1962. On March 1st, 2019, she was additionally awarded the Republic of Korea Medal of the Order of Merit for National Foundation. For Koreans, she remains an eternal symbol of the Korean spirit, unbowed and forever free. The March 1st movement and the brutal repression that followed claimed at least 7,000 Korean lives and led to the arrest and incarceration of tens of thousands more. Thank you for watching. If Yu Gwan-sun's story inspired you, please hit the like button, share this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next chapter of history.